Hey y'all, Melissa here. I was just outside checking on some things. Want to bring you along with me. We're going to go check the Luffa Gourds. This is a loofah sponge. Actually comes from growing a Luffa Gourd. So I want to show you where we're at in the process. We're nowhere near this. So I'm so excited about that. I was also checking the sweet potatoes. Planted some sweet potato transplants, sweet potato slips. They were just the vine starting out over the soil, and wanted to see if we could get some sweet potatoes. I only planted, I think, maybe 3 sweet potato pots of slips, and I guess you just get a few sweet potatoes per plant probably, but we finally dug these up, and I'm just trying to give them several days to kind of cure before I really clean them up good and before we eat them. And then we did this as kind of a trial. Next year, 2026, we want to grow a bunch more sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes. So what I'm thinking right now is we also pulled the Luffa Gourds off of the vines, and I've got them kind of hanging in the old meat bird barn, but we've got a really bright sunny afternoon and I've got a stack of pallets. So I'm kind of thinking if I can take the gourds and actually set them out on those pallets, the sun will hit them more directly and that'll be better for what we're trying to do. I'm learning as I go with this. I've got that little stack of pallets there, so I think I'm going to put them there. We'll have to actually go into the meat bird barn to get some of them. Meat bird barn is empty of livestock. Kept a few of our livestock transport crates there. We kept a few feeders and waters, but very fortunate to have liquidated all of that almost immediately as we wrapped up raising meat birds. So Jared had fastened that door closed yesterday. See up at the top left, the hardware there fastens it into the door header. But I was able to get this doorway open, and for now I had just hung the loofahs here and set the ones here that didn't have enough vine to hang, and thought, well, I'd open the doorway and let the sun hit them, let the breeze move over them, facilitate warming them up, drying the moisture out of them. But when we have these warm sunny afternoons, I'm going to put them outside. Okay, so we've got to start there. I'm going to take a break. When your 20-year-old son messages you and says, hey mom, you want to go to Mexican for lunch? I'm going to take a break. So we'll get right back to that. I'm going to go meet Wade for lunch at El Costeño over in Beverly at the Mexican restaurant here local. See you in a minute, y'all. All right, so I had a great lunch with Wade, a little cheese enchilada and rice and beans. I think I'm actually going to stop at the track at the local fairgrounds and walk a mile before I head on home and finish up with the gourds. So I'm going to do that, and then we'll get right back to the gourds. Thank you y'all for watching Twin Oaks Family Farm. Let me know what you're into in the comments. Love to read your comments. We appreciate y'all interacting with the videos. Thank you. Hi Tanner. Changing out of the good shoes. Hi Gussie. And getting the dogs. Gonna let them go out with us. Alright, the dogs know these are the go outside shoes. Tanner loves to go in the barn still. So does Gus. They really liked checking on chickens when we had them. We do need to get clean out done in here for sure. All of this used bedding material can come out. We're actually in the process too of marking some plots for the loofahs for next year. So we'll be able to put probably all of this used bedding material onto our 2026 planting plots. Okay, I'll be grabbing these. We did end up with 20 Luffa Gourds off of the vines we had. I think we probably ended up with 6 vines that ended up actually growing well. Okay, one more trip should get it. I just think that is so cool how a sponge like that comes from gourds like these. I am so excited about these. So I'm just waiting to see how long the process takes to dry them down, and then really hopeful to scale this up next year. The second one in there from the right, see how it's getting a brown look? I think this is what we're going to start to see in all these. Then we can also see like this finished one, of course, is much smaller in length, much shorter than these gourds are. When we get the sponge out of there, it's probably almost the full length of the gourd, and then you can cut that down to the size you want. I'm also imagining we're going to have to go through a bit of a cleaning process to get to this point. We don't want to have to bleach the sponges, but I'm sure they don't come out this kind of pristine color that we have in this finished sponge that we bought from 1818 Farms. There's a process to that we're going to have to learn. There's a little more shape to it, more similar to the shape of the gourds. I have one more kind of bonus feature I can show you that we saved from one of the gourds that had cracked early in the season. So hang with me. Y'all have hens. How are your hens doing? Ours are doing pretty good today. Yesterday, November 11th, we got 3 eggs from 19 hens. Today is November 12th. We've already collected 7 eggs from our 19 hens for today. Okay, so remembering that this was a finished Luffa Gourd that had been processed and cleaned and presented for sale. This is one of the insides of the gourds that we actually had. This one had split very early in the season. It right here. Hi, Tanner. And we left this one on the vine and just let it. Hi, Tanner. Yes. You needed a little Tanner time, a little Tanner cameo. You are handsome. Tanner the doxy there. So we had left this one on the vine just to let it finish growing, see what would happen, see what we would get. When we pulled the vines, this still had its skin all over it, except for you could see into the crease. And I took this over to the hen house and put it in the chicken's treat pan and just wanted to see what they would do with it. So they actually ended up just pecking all of the skin off of it and left the inside of the gourd, the sponge. There's a lot of moisture in it. I can still feel it's quite heavy. It's quite cold because it's been cold, so it was kind of like, you know, freezing because Ohio weather had an identity crisis in November and tried to pretend it was January for a couple of days. So these all got a lot of moisture content in them that froze. So we're feeling that heaviness, that weight, even in the ones that we have down there drying. But I'm really curious if we just hose this out, what are we going to see? There must be seeds down in there still too. So I don't know if we'll end up being able to get any of the seeds out of this one either. But I've got the hose set up. Let's go rinse it out and see what happens. Come on, Tanner. Come on. You want to help? Come on. You want to hunt? Go ahead. You can go in there and hunt. There's Gussie. He's going to help us. Watch out, Tanner. We're going to turn the water on. Oh, leave it there. Well, now we're going to have to get it from Tanner. Hold on, y'all. So while we're here, let's go in and see the hens. They still have a little bit of feed, but they ate most of it. There's no new eggs. So one of the Wyandottes is there under the nest boxes because that's really their preference. Oh, good girl. Thank you, girl. So we'll gather that one while we're here. The Wyandotte was sitting there, but that doesn't indicate 100% that that's her egg. It could have already been there and she had gone there for her turn. But it could be. Brings a grand total to 8 eggs today. I decided to let them out. Their water's good and they still actually have feed from their morning ration. So they're in good shape for today. So from these gourds to the fibrous inside of the gourd pulled out to a finished usable sponge that would even be biodegradable once you've determined you're done with it. But in my experience, very durable and long lasting while you want to keep it in use. I just find the whole process really, really interesting. The vines get very long, so you need a place to accommodate that if you're going to grow them. They need a fairly long growing season. About 120 days was what we read on seed packets. We managed to squeak that in here just barely here in Southeast Ohio. They do need that length of time if you're going to set out to grow them. And our estimate from our experience is maybe 3 to 4 great gourds per plant, maybe only 2 or 3. As we become more familiar with them, we'll have a better estimate of that. But going forward into 2026, as I plan, that's what I'm going to base on, is about 3 gourds per vine, hopefully, that we get, and maybe 2 finished gourds per vine that we can use for finished product. So since Southeast Ohio weather survived its November identity crisis and we're kind of back to normal November with no rain predicted, I'm probably just going to leave those loofahs right out there on that pallet stack, and I think that will help facilitate what we're trying to accomplish with those, with no rain coming. I feel like they can stay out, and then when we get to the weekend, we're going to have to cart them in and out because I don't want rain getting on them. We're trying to dry them down. So, and Jared is going to check our dent corn this weekend, so we'll keep you posted on that. Thanks for joining us here at Twin Oaks Family Farm. Greatly appreciate it, and let us know in the comments things that you're working toward. It's great to read feedback from viewers right here in our community. Thanks so much, y'all. God bless you.